Hi there, my name's Kai. I'm a personal trainer at the Rochester Athletic Club, and I just wanted to show you a home exercise routine working with body weight only, and then on a couple of them I'll show you some variations that we can introduce a resistance band as well to make that a little bit more difficult for those of you that need more of a challenge at home. So before I get into those exercises, I'd like to explain a little bit why I organize the routines the way I do. The routines are typically set up into a circuit style so that we can incorporate more of a cardiovascular benefit as well as built-in rest times and work times. So what I'll be doing today is I'll show you 12 separate exercises and have them set up for 30-second intervals, but we can always do repetitions instead if that's easier for you, if you have a hard time with keeping track of that time while you're doing the exercise. I know sometimes the timers and things like that on the phones help, but I'd like to show you the first set here. We do have kind of a whole body workout routine here today. So to start off with, I like to do some step ups. So all you need here is a bench like behind me, about 12 inches high. The height you want to look for is going to be when your knee is up on the step. We want that to be at about 90 degrees or above. So as soon as that knee dips too far below that 90-degree range, that step might be a little bit high, and we want to try and find something that's going to be more appropriate level so that we can keep the right mechanics. When we are stepping up on this step-up exercise, we want to be alternating steps. We also want to make sure that we keep that weight straight through the heel, and we want to engage that glute as we step up. So on that same leg, this one I'll start on the right-hand leg here. We want to engage that glute, so I'm just going to squeeze that tight as I'm stepping up. Nice tall finish. Keep that balance, and then come back down, alternate. Again, just keeping that weight through the heel and alternating for about 30 seconds. All right, so that is exercise one of the first circuit. Then we have mountain climbers. So lots of times people use these as a great prep for a core workout, as well as to make the workout a little bit more intense in terms of pace. So what we want to do is we want to find a nice flat angle here. We want to keep that push-up position engaged, so all the upper body is engaged as well as the lower body. And come up nice and wide to the side, alternating on each side, back and forth. As you can see, I like to come out to the side, and none of this is touching the ground at all. It's all floating above. All right. So great exercise there. So we have a lower body, a core exercise, and now this is going to be a separate core exercise. The next one here is called bird dogs. This is one that I like for engaging the back and just sort of starting off with a great posture for the exercise routine. It works great for bilateral or ipsilateral movement as well, so same side or opposite side movements. This is a great way to get that posture in line for the day. So we're going to start out all fours here. Make sure we got enough room. All right, from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my right leg and left arm at the same time, extend all the way out. And then once we're all the way out, we want to come back together, pinch together, and go all the way out again. Now, for those of you looking for more of a challenge, we can go all the way out to the hands and feet, and we can do it that way as well. All right? With a lot of practice, I haven't done these hands and feet for a while. All right, so then the next circuit then, so those first three would be the step-ups, the mountain climbers, and the bird dogs. Now you can run through that circuit as many times as you like. In order to do a 12-minute workout, you can do one set of all these exercises I'm talking about. Make sure you do get a 30-second rest at least in between each exercise if you're going to do it that way. If not, you can do multiple circuits through that same exercise set, and you can create the routine as long as you like that way. All right, so the next one then is going to be air squats. Now these burn quick, so choose a moderate tempo. We want to make sure that we're keeping the weight through the heels on this. Toes pointed about 15 degrees out, and then glutes engaged. So squeeze that butt together as you're coming down. All right. Now when we come down, get a nice wide stance. Get about that 90-degree angle, and come pop back up, squeezing together through the glutes. All right. Air squats. Let's go for about 30 seconds, and that'll burn really quick. All right, then for the next one, we can do some toe touches. Now for the air squats, we activated the front. The toe touches will activate more of the back of the leg. All right. So from here, we just want to maintain a slightly bent knee, so not locked out, right? Like you can see there. We want to be a little bit relaxed. Just want to keep a nice flat back, so puff that chest out. And then as we're coming down, just follow the fingertips all the way down until you start to feel a little bit of a stretch on the back of the leg there. As soon as we start to feel that stretch, use that muscle, fire back up, and lock out with the hips. All right, so that's the toe touch and the air squats. And then we want to do the another core exercise just to give the legs a little bit of a break there. So we're going to do planks with a shoulder tap. All right, so push-up position here. For those of you that find this pretty challenging, we can go down to the knees. Just make sure we keep the back flat and the feet uncrossed. We don't want to cross the feet on this. That'll agitate the lower back. All right, so I'll demonstrate from the knees. We can go from the feet as well to make this more challenging. So from here, we just really want to watch for hips swaying back and forth as we're coming down, right? If they're swaying back and forth at all, we really want to try and minimize that movement. So just coming back and forth, alternating on each shoulder. All right. The wider the stance on this, the more difficult we'll have, more difficult it will be as well. All right. So that second circuit then was air squats, toe touches, and planks with the shoulder taps. Just make sure we're keeping the flat back on those toe touches and planks. All right. So then for that third circuit, we have reverse lunges, push-ups, and a Russian twist. So the reverse lunge, I like the reverse lunge because it activates the posterior or the back of the leg prior to the front, and that's something that motor pattern we don't use very often. A lot of times you'll see ACL injuries with overactive quads, and so we want to work the back as well and work on firing that up first in order to protect the knee, especially for you athletes out there. So for reverse lunges then, we just want to start with a nice tall posture, even stance. We're going to come back, nice big step, room provided. Make sure we're keeping about 90 degrees or a little bit above. We want to make sure that that knee does not touch the ground. So if we touch the ground, we're going a little bit too far. This way we're staying active through the whole motion, and we're able to engage the whole lower body as well as some of the core. All right. So just alternating on reverse steps here. Make sure we're keeping that balance. We can always add a resistance band under a leg and just go one at a time, or we can introduce some dumbbells and create that higher resistance so that's a little bit more difficult. All right, so then we have push-ups, pretty straightforward. We all have done push-ups before, I'm sure. For those of you out there that find these pretty challenging on a regular basis, we can go from the knees again. Again, just make sure your feet aren't crossed. That does put the low back in a bad position. So one thing to keep in mind as well, so in that push-up position, we just want to take those fingertips, we want to grab the ground and twist out. The reason we want to twist out like that is so that we can incorporate this lat muscle behind the ribs and really lock out that whole upper body and engage that. All right, so push-ups here, just make sure we're grabbing that ground. See if I can get a good position there. All right, there we go. So just watch my hand here if you can. Really twisting that out. I'm engaging behind the ribs here then. Keep those elbows nice and tight to the ribs. 90 degrees, come back up. Nice flat back. All right. Push up, pretty straightforward. Next one now is a Russian twist. This is a core exercise. My track coach used to call this one the Turtles. I like that one a lot too. Good name, whatever you want to call it. Great core exercise. Now this one, we want to balance on the tailbone. We want to keep about a 90-degree angle between the stomach and the legs. Tilt back on that tailbone. We can grab a weight or some type of resistance here. You can always tie a band to the side too if you want to do that. And we just rotate back and forth. Make sure we're keeping that chest nice and square and puffed out. And we want to suck that stomach in towards the spine. All right. Last circuit then, before I can't talk anymore. Jumping jacks, Supermans with a diamond behind the back, and then dead bugs, one of my personal favorites. So dead bugs, before I demonstrate that one, you can do that with a resistance band as well. Otherwise, you can just grab onto some sort of a solid surface like a post or a couch, whatever you got around. All right, so jumping jacks, pretty straightforward. Those, we just want to make sure we have a nice tall posture throughout that, and we want to make sure that we keep our core muscles engaged, as well as sort of, if you've ever seen the Da Vinci poster with the ideal posture, that's the motor pattern we want to follow, right? The guy with all the different angles on the arms and the poster and everything. So I'll demonstrate a jumping jack here just for you. Start together, come up apart and together, and then back to starting position. All right. Supermans with a diamond. Now these are the traditional Superman laying on your stomach, hands extended all the way out, right? But there's a twist with the diamond behind the back. So we want to come all the way out, right? Lifting everything off the ground. And then I'm going to come back down and try and create this diamond. My fingertips behind the back here, right? We can go for a certain amount of repetitions, or again, like that 30-second time frame that I had in mind. Either one works. All right. Dead bugs. Now, dead bugs are one of my personal favorites. These ones are great for, this core exercise is great for our natural weight belt. There's a great name for it. Otherwise, it's the transverse abdomen. This one, it actually helps protect our lower back, and it isn't engaged often enough in a lot of different exercises. So this is a great way to sort of train your body to do that and protect that lower spine. All right, so with this one, like I said, we can use resistance band, which is what I'll do here. I just have a knot tied on a typical loop, and then I'm just going to put it behind the door here, and that should work pretty great. Now what we want to do is we want to set it up to about an arm length off the ground. So we'll do the arm length off the ground. It will be just high enough so that I can keep my arms straight to start with. And then from here, I can, let's see, get a better angle. Lift those knees. Now if they come in past 90 degrees, we're not engaging that core like we should. So we want to keep those legs past 90 degrees. We're going to bring those shoulder blades up off the ground while we're pulling this band down. Otherwise, resisting against a post or a couch, whatever you have. And then from there, just like a bicycle core exercise, one leg down at a time. Now throughout that, we want to make sure that we force that low back into the ground and keep those shoulder blades lifted up, as well as those knees past 90 degrees. So that's all I have for you today on this exercises for home. Again, you can kind of do that as a circuit or all the way through, whatever you'd like, whatever fits your routine best. And you can expand that up to an hour if you'd like. All right. Best of luck at this stay home period, and stay safe out there. Thank you.